The Indianapolis Colts are sitting at 1-3, and the Baltimore Ravens are sitting at 3-1. So, Kevin, we got a pretty solid Monday night matchup between these two teams in the Colts and the Ravens. How do you see this one playing out between both teams?
How does one have confidence in their team, but at the same time understands that winning just does not seem to be in the cards? Guys, I'm wearing my Colts shirt. I love this team with my entire soul and my being. But with the injuries we've been combating lately, the play calling that Frank Reich has been showing to be relatively inconsistent, and how we're managing our running back situation just does not seem to bode well. Obviously, we all know the key to winning this game is keeping the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hand. But if you're going to put the ball in our quarterback's hand, who is injury prone, who has already been injured in this season several times, and that also includes the injury prior to the season even starting, I'm not necessarily excited. I'm not really looking forward to this game. Obviously, our all-pro fucking best player on the entire team, and Quentin Nelson, is out for about another week or two. Our Pro Bowl right tackle and Braden Smith has been out for 4 straight games, and he has been ruled out for this game as well. I mean, the injuries literally just continue to pile up from head to toe. I mean, Naeem Hines was limited in practice this week. Darius Leonard, Kari Willis, Eric Fisher, Jack Doyle. I mean, Rock Yassin is out. It's a shit show. The injury report has been literally an average of 5 to 10 people pretty much since week one, and Carson's been on every single one of them. So again, I'm not really looking forward. Our top draft pick in Quiddy Pay is also out with a hamstring injury, who has been battling that injury for the last 3 weeks. So again, it not necessarily looking really good. And we all know that we need a healthy batch of people, a healthy group of people to play against this high-powered Baltimore offense. We all know what Lamar Jackson brings to the field in terms of being able to extend plays with his legs, but at the same time, he has been able to dice up some defenses that are not preparing for his ability to throw the ball, in which the last time we played them, which was last season, Lamar kind of lit us up, low key. I mean, he had 2 turnovers early, but he was able to kind of compose himself and win the game. Granted, questionable calls that ended up winning that game and gave them the win or that result, but neither here nor there. We shall see what happens in terms of how the game is going to progress. In my opinion, for us to win, first and foremost, we got to run the football. Jonathan Taylor has got to have the ball at least 20 to 30 times. We need to stop doing this. Every series, another running back gets it. I mean, last week it was one drive, it was Jonathan Taylor. The next drive was Marlon Mack. The next drive was a mixture of Jordan Wilkins and Naeem Hines. It was absolutely stupid. You have a workhorse, give it to goddamn Jonathan Taylor every fucking down if you have to. I mean, this offensive line still has good players on it. You need to be able to move the line of scrimmage. You need to be able to create play action for fucking Carson Wentz. Carson's been hit, arguably, or statistically, should I say, probably the most in the NFL this season. And it's funny because we brought him over because we had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and he's literally been hit almost as many times as he was hit at this point last season in Philadelphia. So Carson's getting PTSD at this point because he's like, yo, I came here to not get hit and I'm getting beat the fuck up. So absolutely frustrating that Frank hasn't really given him the opportunity to play better. I mean, we're doing what we can in the receiving core. Michael Pittman Jr. has been playing great. Obviously, T.Y. Hilton is out. So we're making do with what we have. But overall, if I had to make some form of a prediction, I say Baltimore wins this game probably between 7 to 10 points, just because I feel like we're not going to be able to get to Lamar, and if we do, he's going to find a way to escape. And or on the offensive side of the ball, I just don't have faith in Frank Reich's play calling. One drive we want to run the ball 4 straight times in a row. The next drive we don't throw it at all. Run it at all. So I have to admit I can't blame Carson. At not one point this season, I've been telling Kyle every week, when everybody wanted his head after that week 1 loss, I mean, come on. Like, the man did everything he needed to do. He was sacked almost 5 times. He was hit about almost 10. So you're really looking at it like, yes, the quarterback's not putting up exponential numbers, but when you're constantly having to get up, it's not exactly the easiest game to play. So, again, I want to say we're going to win. To do that is a tall task. We're also not home, so it's going to be really, really hard. And yeah, no, I'm standing by my prediction, man. I think Baltimore wins by about a touchdown, if not 10.
Yeah, I really can't find another way to come at for this Monday night matchup. I really don't. I tried to look at it I guess, in a positive fashion for the Colts, but I just really can't find it. And to me, it's really going to be dependent on who wins the battle at the line of scrimmage. And with the amount of injuries that Indianapolis has had at the offensive line so far this year, and the fact that Carson has just been getting lit up back there on a consistent basis, I think it's going to be more of the same. And it's kind of indicative of what the main issue has been for the Colts offensively the last couple of years is that they have a decent quarterback to work with, or they had a great quarterback to work with Andrew Luck, but they can't find ways to protect him for a long period of time. And until they're able to correct that issue, I don't think the Colts are going to be able to go that far as being the best team in the AFC South. And that's why I'm taking Baltimore in this game. Baltimore has been the more consistent team this year than the Colts have been. Baltimore has shown me that they have a very consistent run game to go along with Lamar Jackson as well. Now, granted, Lamar will get his touches. Lamar will be able to extend plays with his feet and make some magic happen. He has the tendency to do that on a consistent basis. But the one thing that's really kind of stood out to me the last couple of weeks is that Baltimore's defense has really stepped up. Now, granted, they haven't played top tier talent in the last 2 weeks. They played the Lions in week 3, they played the Broncos in week 4, but they held both those teams respectively to 17 and 7 points. So the defense is making plays, and they are making life for that Baltimore offense a little bit easier than what it was earlier in the season when they were giving up 30 plus to the Raiders and the Chiefs. So when I combine those factors going into this matchup, I think the Ravens are going to be able to score fairly easily against this Colts defense. The Colts defense is shaky, to say the least. They have good performances here and there, but it's not on a consistent level. They had a good performance last week that got them their first win, but before that, it was Derrick Henry lighting them up, or it was just opposing offenses that they were going up against, and they just couldn't find ways to slow them down. So I think the best way that the Colts can probably try to win this game is just trying to contain Lamar Jackson, but I don't really see that being the case. I think Lamar pops off in this game. I think the Ravens potentially score 30 points here. I don't know how many points the Colts are going to score. If I had to kind of throw a number out there, I think somewhere maybe around like 17 points is the number that I have in my head. But I do think that Baltimore could win this one by at least 10 points, if not 2 touchdowns. It's just I have a lot more faith in what the Ravens have been doing this season. And until the Colts kind of get past these injuries and they get more healthy as a team, I just don't think it's going to happen for them. Not anytime soon, but I think the Ravens roll through this one and they end up 4-1 when it's all said and done for week 5.